Hey guys, my name is Griffin and I'm here at Timbertrain Coffee Depot. Today I'm going to show you how to cup coffee at home. So what is cupping coffee? Cupping coffee is a kind of fancy term for tasting coffee. But the method we use to taste the coffee is in cups, in bowls. So cupping. So why would you cup coffee? Well, cupping is a great way of brewing coffee that eliminates a lot of variables that can be altered in things such as pour over. So if you made two coffees on pour over, a lot of different things can go wrong that would make them taste different. Compared to cupping, there's very few variables. Another reason you would cup coffee is because it's a great way to taste multiple coffees at once and to taste them more quickly. So it makes for better and easier comparisons when comparing coffee. So cupping coffee is used throughout the industry, from the farmer who uses it to taste defects in the coffee, to the roaster who often tastes it to perfect the roast, and finally the consumer who tastes it to compare it to other coffees and to taste the coffee better. I personally like cupping coffee a lot because it creates a good starting point before I go and brew the coffee on pour over or any other method. So how do you cup coffee at home? Well, it's a pretty simple brewing method, so you don't need a ton of tools, and I'll show you exactly what you need. So first off, we're going to need some cupping bowls or cupping cups. I often use these, which are specifically designed for cupping. You can purchase them off some coffee websites, but it's definitely not required. What we're looking for is a small 6 to 8 ounce cup. I use these as well for cupping all the time and they work really well. And so we just need a cup that's not too big and has a nice open top that allows you to take the spoon and siphon off some of the coffee. So today I'm going to be using these cupping bowls. I have 3 of them because I'm going to be tasting 3 different coffees. So we're also going to need 2 spoons. I recommend bigger ones, and you can actually buy ones that are specifically made for cupping coffee. They're shaped a little different, so it makes it a little easier, but any 2 spoons will do. I also have 2 extra glasses on the side, and those are going to be for cleaning the spoons, but you'll see how that kind of works later. We're also going to need a gram scale. It doesn't need to be a fancy one. Just any kind of kitchen scale will work. We're just trying to keep the coffees consistent throughout the 3. We're also going to need a kettle. This is a gooseneck one, but any regular kettle will do. We don't need any fine pouring. And we're going to have it just off boil. So let's get into it. The first step is going to be dosing our coffee. So I'm going to begin by dosing 11 grams into each of these cups. I know that the total volume is about 160 grams of water, so 11 grams is going to be my dose. All right, so now that we dosed our 3 coffees, it's time to grind them. So we're going to grind them all in the same grind size, because again, consistency is key. And that's going to be pretty much as fine as I can go on the Ode, 1 off. So now I'm going to grind them up. So now that we've ground the coffee at a medium fine setting, we're going to begin the most fun part, the pouring of the water. So first I'm going to get a timer out, and we're going to start our timer and then begin our pour. So first I'll put the first one on the scale, tear the scale, and start our timer. So all we're looking for here is that we fully saturate all of the ground coffee. So I'm being pretty aggressive, and I'm just going to fill it up to 160 grams. Just about there. Move that off, and we're still keeping the timer going. Do our second one, tear the scale again. Again, just trying to be kind of aggressive, fully saturating all the grounds, because we're not going to do any stirring or touching the coffee until it's done extracting. So now we're just going to leave them there to extract for a bit. So now we're going to move on to my favorite part of cupping, and that's called breaking the crust. So the crust just refers to this kind of golden layer on the top of the coffee. It's kind of a combination of CO2 and coffee grounds that floats on the top. And so in this part, we're going to actually break that and cause that to fall down to the bottom. At about 3 minutes is when we'll do this. We're going to take our spoon. I've added a little hot water to the cup. And we're going to just gently stir just the top layer. And this will cause it all to fall down. At the same time, a lot of aromatics are going to be released from the coffee. So I like to get close and smell the coffee at this point. So let's do that. And in between each, I'm going to rinse off my spoon. So the key here is a gentle stir too. We're not trying to go down deep and aggressively stir it. We're just trying to gently break the crust. Great. So now the next part, we're gonna actually clean off any residual crust that may be left on there, so we create a nice open surface for us to be tasting it. So how we do that is we're gonna take both our spoons, rinsed off in water, and we're just gonna scoop around the top layer to pick up any of that residual pieces. So just scooping off any. I'll dump it in here, rinse it off. You can do it one more time. Perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to have a nice clean surface. So now that we're finished that, our next step is just to wait. So we're gonna wait until our timer hits 10 minutes, and that will give the time for the coffees to cool down a bit. It will also make sure that all the coffee is settled to the bottom so that we can actually cup it. So we're back after about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I've gotten a cup with some fresh hot water and our spoon, and the water is just to rinse off our coffee between the different cups. So now it's the exciting part, drinking the coffee. How do we do this? So the method for cupping is that we're gonna take our spoon and we're just gonna skim off the surface of the coffee, just a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is actually slurp it. So the slurping causes the coffee to be sprayed across our palate, meaning we can taste a little bit more of the intricate qualities of the coffee. Don't worry about having a super loud slurp or a super intense slurp. That doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna taste the coffee any better if you do. So just try it for yourself, slurping the coffee. So we're gonna go through and taste the coffees. I like to rinse my spoon in between each one, and we're gonna taste them multiple times over. This is because as the coffees cool, they tend to showcase different qualities, often more sweet, or more floral, or more fruity. So we're gonna go through a few times as they cool down. I also recommend having a notepad with you because you might not remember everything from each coffee. So we'll go through. Again, we're skimming the surface, just taking a little bit, and we're gonna give it a slurp. So cupping is an excellent way to compare multiple coffees at once because you can brew them all really quickly. It's also a great way to kind of showcase a coffee in its bare minimum. No influence from any brewing methods, just what the qualities showcase. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. I'm really excited for you guys to try cupping at home because many people don't know about cupping, but it is such a great way to taste and explore coffee more. For now, thank you for watching.